Would you be surprised if I told you that your money blocks have got nothing at all to do with money? I know that that sounds kind of counterintuitive in a sense, but bear with me and I'll explain a little bit more about this. Because one of the big things that my clients, they're really surprised about when we talk about their money blocks or their money mindset, when they realize that it's nothing to do with money, they're kind of blown away. Difficult to wrap their head around because, for years they've thought they had a problem with money when it's not actually about money at all. So hang out with me for the next few minutes and I'll just go into this a little bit more depth for you. But if you don't know who I am, first of all, my name is Karen from KarenTurpin.com, and I'm an abundance mindset master coach for female entrepreneurs. So I get to talk about money and abundance all the time, and people can confuse money and abundance. We can kind of wrap it up and talk about it in the same way sometimes, particularly with reference to what I'm going to talk about today. However, I do personally think that money and abundance are slightly different. So we'll talk about that another day. Now, if I were to hand you money from your own currency, depending which country you live in, I'm sure you haven't got a problem holding it. Holding money in your hand. So it's not that you've got an issue with the paper or the plastic that the notes are made of. It's not that you've got an issue with the coin, the metal of the coin. So the issue is not with physical money. The issue is with what it means to you. And everything only ever has the meaning that you give it. And this is why this whole discussion around money is so individual and unique to each of us, because we've all got a different meaning or perception of what money is, what money means to us. And that's all based upon our life and what we've experienced through life. Sometimes we haven't been able to identify what the problem actually is with money. Well, that's because it's not really about money. Sometimes we realize that we have a problem with money, but we get so used to feeling, sick to our stomach when we have to open a bill, or, if the subject and conversation comes around to money when we're out and about with people, we kind of steer away because we can't bear to talk about money, the money situation. We all respond so differently to money. And it's interesting to note that even very, very wealthy people can still have money blocks, issues around money. So whether you don't have any money or whether you have lots of money, you can still have money blocks, money issues, money mindset problems. I thought that that's fascinating because I remember when I was young, I'm not really sure what age really, but kind of certainly in my, from around 10, 12 years old, that kind of age, I really liked the idea of having lots of money. I don't really know how that was introduced to me, but I used to look around at people that appeared to have a lot of money. And I was always kind of quite impressed by their ability to make choices that maybe other people couldn't, that didn't have that amount of money. So I didn't grow up poor, my family always had enough. But there were certainly some things that our family couldn't do that other families could do. Or was it that my parents chose to spend the money in a different area of life than what other families did? Who knows? I never really kind of psychoanalyzed my parents' decisions around money, but I do know that I could look at other people and think, oh, I'd like to do that. And I could make the connection that if you have money, you can do that. So I decided at quite an early age that I wanted to have lots of money because it kind of looked nice. So when I left school, I got a very high paying job, comparatively speaking, for a school leaver anyway. And the amount of money that I earned there allowed me to pretty much do what I want. I bought a car and I used to buy nice clothes. I've always bought expensive clothes right from when I first left school. And I loved that feeling. It was definitely a feeling for me. And fast forward some years, I got to a point in my life that I realized I had money issues, because I was one of the people that felt sick whenever the subject of money came up. And it was really, really uncomfortable for me. I had a lot of fear around it. I realized that I kind of misinterpreted the whole thing around money. And that's when I started digging back into my personal history to try and find out where those money blocks really came from. It started, to be honest with you, when I started to get clients coming to me for hypnotherapy sessions about their money blocks. And really, as a healer or a therapist, we often get clients coming to us with the very thing that we need to look at within ourselves. So when I started to get clients with money blocks, it was like the mirror was held up and I'm like looking at it going, oh, crikey, yeah, I've got shit going on too, right? So anyway, I started to delve into my own stuff. And then I realized that it wasn't about money, because I love money. I love having money, but the thought of money or dealing with the money issues was making me feel sick. That's a kind of really, really contradictory. It's one of the signs that you've got some money blocks, actually, if thinking about money or dealing with it or earning it or even charging it, if you have a client and you undercharge, for example, all of these can be indications that you've got some money blocks, some things to work on. I can promise you, once you work on them and you get on the other side, oh my God, it feels so different. So I encourage you that if your guts are churning every time you think about money, then reach out and let's get some of those money blocks and issues addressed and out the way, because it feels so much better when they're gone. But anyway, back to money, because it's a kind of really interesting discussion, don't you think? There are certain things that you should never talk about over a dinner table: religion, politics, and probably money. These days, it could be a whole host of other subjects as well in the current situation, right? But anyway, on the subject of money, it's like you don't ask people how much money they've got, what they've got in the bank. And I was kind of blown away. My first job out of school was for working at a merchant bank. And I come from a really small island. You kind of know a lot of people, or you know their names, certainly. And this was a merchant bank where people it wasn't like an everyday, count your piggy bank kind of bank. It was for the rich people that had more money. They could invest in trust funds and things like that. And sometimes I would come across somebody's name when I was doing filing as my first job out of school. I was the telex operator, so I used to do the foreign currency payments, foreign exchange payments. But I would also do the filing, and I'd come across the names of people that I knew on this tiny dot of an island, and their bank statements were there. And I would be blown away sometimes to see how much money these people had. And of course, it's all confidential. I never spoke about it to anyone, but anyone outside the bank. But I would see these names and these, what appeared to me as a kind of 17-year-old straight out of school, what appeared to me these huge sums of money. And I'm like, wow, how can people get that much? I want that. But the thing is, with all the information I had about who had what, how big their bank balances were, I realized that it wasn't coming my way, was it? Just because I knew this about other people, it wasn't coming my way just from having that information. And clearly and obviously, we get money because we generate it ourselves. That's the only way to get money. I've learned since, through my exploration into abundance, that we are naturally abundant. It's the true nature of who we really are, actually. But in order to get money, we have to give value exchange. We have to give something in exchange for it. And that could be that you are a homemaker, a mother. It doesn't have to be that you are outside in the workplace, but you're giving value, and maybe you've got a supportive husband that brings the money into the household. So it's not about you have to go and get a high-paying job in order to have it. Sometimes abundance just comes around us. in a way that is less focused on getting a good job and bringing lots of money in. And so this kind of sets up this feeling for many people of the haves and the have-nots. Oh, it's all right for her. She's got a rich husband, or he married a wealthy woman. You know, it kind of all of that stuff. And it's a really weird subject, not one that you can easily have, as I say, over dinner, because judging other people for their money is kind of a bit weird. But the interesting thing is, having now worked with hundreds of clients over their money issues, it's not just poor people or people with less money that have these money issues. Rich people have them too. I worked with a lady one time. I mean, her bank balance, she told me how much she was worth. And it's a huge sum of money, believe me. But she had a problem because she didn't know anyone that had the amount of money that she had. All of her friends and acquaintances all had considerably less money than her. Most of them not even millionaires, whereas she was a multiple millionaire. And so because she had all this money, she liked to buy expensive clothes. She liked to shop. She liked to dress well. She had some beautiful clothing. But she told me that she was sick of having to adapt her wardrobe depending upon who she was going to meet that day. So if she was likely to meet people with less money, it's almost like she had a whole other wardrobe that she would dress down so that she could fit in with them. Whereas if they were going to an event or something with more wealthy people, she would dress in a different way. Look, I guess we all do that. You know, we don't go for a bushwalk in our, Gucci outfit or whatever it is, right? But still, this lady had come to me saying, I've got a problem because I'm really uncomfortable in my own skin, in my own clothes when I'm with certain people. And I think I've got a problem with money. Clearly, she didn't have a problem getting money or bringing it in. It was just the whole interpretation that she had around money and what it said about her. And she told me that she constantly dressed down so she could try to fit in with the people. And that was a real issue for her. So we worked on that. And of course, what do you think it was connected to? Well, it was all connected to do with her self-worth, how she felt about herself. And I've heard this from other people too, that have got a small amount of money, or maybe what they would consider not sufficient for what they want or for the lifestyle that they want. And then if they happen to be in a situation where they're with more wealthy people, maybe women that are dressed better than them, that they feel less than. And they've expressed to me that even though these are their friends, when they turn up at, an outing, that they look around to see how the other women are dressed. And in their perception, their judgment of what the other women are wearing, they've said to me, it can make or break my outing with them. If I perceive that they've dressed normal, then I'm okay. I can fit in. But this lady said to me, on the days that I meet them and I perceive that they've got expensive clothes on, and then she said, my day's ruined. She said, I can hardly speak. I feel sick. I feel embarrassed. And invariably, she would make an excuse to go home early because she couldn't bear to be in a situation with these people that she loved, that are her friends. And then she said to me, do you think I've got an issue with money? So we explored that. And of course, it turns out that it's not an issue with money. It's all to do about how she feels about herself. So there you go. We judge people based on their money. And then we maybe feel embarrassed. We maybe feel less than. Maybe we feel superior than. But either way, money makes people feel uncomfortable. It doesn't have to stay that way. We can, work on these things. So there was a girl at school with me, and it became clear to me that she had a lot of money. I really liked her, and I used to love going to her house to play because it was a big house and there was so much there to play with, and it was a big garden. And anyway, she was my friend, but I really liked that. But she would often tell me that once people had been to her house once, they broke off the friendship. They were never friends with her anymore. And, you know, she said, I think it's because I've got a lot of money. I can't remember what age I was. I'd be probably about 8 or so, 8 or 9 at the time. And I kind of could understand what she was saying about it at that age, as much as you can at that age. But now I understand it from a whole different level. And I find that fascinating. So anyway, there are a lot of negative beliefs around money, limiting beliefs around money. We could call that a negative mindset. And this is what I love to help people to explore and to break through, because a lot of people feel very disempowered when it comes to money. They feel that they're not worthy of charging, proper amount for their fees or their services, whatever that they're doing. And all that can be corrected when we discover the root cause of our problem. So it'll always be connected somewhere to do with feeling good about yourself, feeling lovable, feeling enough. But there are many other things as well. And it could be things like, feeling like you have to be second best or last, even, that everybody else is more important than you. That's a self-worth thing as well. But it can be things like, it's always my fault when things go wrong, therefore I don't deserve, right? But anyway, it's on a theme, and I'm sure that you can see where I'm heading with this now. So money, I feel, is a fascinating subject. There's so much depth to this, and it's my passion. It's what I love to talk about, and it's what I love to teach and help people with. So not quite sure when you're going to be listening to this, but I just want to mention that on the 1st of September, 2021, I have a money mindset class coming up. It's absolutely free. You can find the link either below, if there's a comment box below this, or alternatively on my Instagram bio link. So on Instagram, I am Karen Turpin, Abundance Coach. I'm pretty much sure I'm that on YouTube as well. And come and join my Facebook group, which is called Abundant and Successful Female Entrepreneurs. And the details will be in there too, because I really like to invite you to join me for this money mindset class. I'm going to talk about the law of attraction. I'm going to cover quite a few things in there. I'm also going to do a really amazing hypnosis process that will help you kind of go back in time and to find 3 scenes from your life that have got everything to do with your money blocks or your money issues. And that is an absolutely fascinating process. So I do hope that you'll join me for that. As I say, get the link somewhere or other. If you really can't find it, then just DM me and I'll sort you out with that. That's on Wednesday, the 1st of September, only a couple of days away from me recording this, so don't miss out. But if you are listening to this after that date, I've got some other really exciting things coming up as well. Free, activate your abundance challenges and all sorts of things like that. So even if you miss my money mindset class, connect with me on DM, say, damn, I missed it, but I want in, whatever. You can say whatever you like. Connect with me and I'll hook you up with some free stuff all around your money mindset, money blocks, and ultimately how you can become more abundant in your life. So I hope that that's interested you to come and join us. And I hope that what I've talked about today maybe have been a little bit thought-provoking for you. I invite you to kind of sit with that and just consider what the big story is around you and your money and how all of that is with you. Anyway, I hope it's been useful and I'll see you again soon. And thank you for listening. Bye for now.